Welcome back to Everything Imaginable with the Hackley Public Library. As always, I am Christina LeVay Rowland, the Outreach Programming Librarian, and with me is...
I'm Mallory Metzger. I am the Community Engagement Coordinator here at Hackley Public Library. And today we have a very special guest. We have Mr. Jay VandeVoorde. Did I pronounce that correctly?
VandeVoorde.
VandeVoorde.
Yep.
VandeVoorde,
yes.
I love that.
A great name. And he is here with us from the Muskegon Lumberjacks. And we are so excited to have him here for our podcast. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited about this.
Yeah, well, you are technically our first official guest because we have had Joe, our director, on our podcast, but we've never had a community member from another organization.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
great.
this is extremely exciting for us.
Thank you. Good deal.
And I'm very impressed that you wore like your branded shirt. Like you knew exactly what you were doing. Well done.
We'll see as we move along what I know.
So just in case anyone who's watching does not know what the Muskegon Lumberjacks is, could you give them a little bit of an idea?
Yeah, the Muskegon Lumberjacks are a team in the USHL. They've been in the league since 2010 for 15 years, celebrating our 15th year. Coming off a championship last spring.
Nice.
Amazing.
Congratulations.
Thank you. We're involved with the community, and along with the hockey, we do a lot of stuff with the schools, partnering with them.
That's incredible and really so crucial to be able to partner with schools and kids and families and making sure that they're able to enjoy a lot of different things in the community. But kind of on that note, can you talk a little bit more about what the Lumberjacks do to help promote literacy and reading in the community?
Sure. Back in 2010, when they came to Muskegon, the Muskegon Lumberjacks owner was Josh Mervis, and he decided he was going to have a reading caravan like he did in the other town, and set it up with the players. And since then, every single owner has supported it, been very grateful for their help in keeping this going. We have 26 schools now with over 6,000 kids in the program. What we do is we take players into the schools, and the players will read to the students. They'll talk about being successful, hard work, what it takes to succeed. Most of these players are already committed to colleges, so we ask about that. We'll say, what college are you going to and stuff, and then we even talk how much money those scholarships saves those players and how important it is for them. So then we'll have some fun time always in the schools. We have to do something, a game or something, to get the kids a little wound up before we leave for the teachers. So.
That's what I like to do also. That's my favorite thing. Get them all riled up and then you leave.
And then you leave.
Yeah.
And then it's like, have fun.
Yeah.
Trying to get them all back together. But along with visiting the schools, we also provide rewards 3 times a year to the students that meet a reading goal that their teachers set up for them. And so it's easy for the teachers. All they have to decide. Some of them will say it's how many words they read in a period. Some of them will say how many books. Some of them will use their reading grade. So it's easy for the teachers. We don't want more work for them. A lot of programs, it's like, this is a great program, but you got to do this, and this. And so we try to make it easier for the teachers. And we give them 3 rewards throughout the year. It can be water bottles in the past. We've given away t-shirts in the past, notebooks this last time, along with a pad of paper and a bookmark. And we have great sponsors, Sherman Bowling Alley on the other side of the bookmark. They can take that in during February and get free bowling. So it's quite a program.
That's so fun.
When we say that with Mike Norwicki at Sherman Bowling Alley, we have some other great donations that come in from businessmen around the city of Muskegon that are right on board with us.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I agree.
Love that.
I think it's really nice that you work with other organizations in the community to really make these things possible for the kids to enjoy, for community members to enjoy. I mean, what great partnerships. And I love that you offer rewards, because it's always nice to have incentives. You know, it makes things a little bit more approachable, or it makes someone excited. It gets them excited about doing something, and in the meantime, they don't necessarily realize they're learning, they're enjoying education, so it's kind of a win-win.
Yep.
We had we had a couple years ago, a couple of teachers I'd asked them, what should we give as a reward? What sort of things? And they kept saying fidgets. I never knew what a fidget,
Yes.
I never knew what a fidget was.
Yes.
Yes.
So finally I thought, let's do the fidget, and the Lumberjacks helped me order and stuff like that, because I didn't have a clue what I was doing. But I got that thing. I couldn't stop playing with it.
Yes.
I was sitting there.
Yes, I personally love fidgets also.
Well, and all the teachers then and the students, they loved them. They absolutely loved them. Put it on your desk. If nothing else, leave everybody alone. Play with your fidget.
Yes,
Yeah.
right.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Well, and it can also honestly help kids to focus too. If they have something that they can do with their hand, then they can focus on listening to whatever the task is at hand
Yep.
or the lesson. So again, it's really a win-win type
It sure
situation.
is. Yep, it is for sure.
No, I mean, I think about it, as far as fidgets go, we've always had something to fidget with, whether it's a pencil and you're like tapping it or you're fidgeting with your foot. The fidgets actually just give you something to focus on,
Yes.
and they've learned to make them quieter,
Yes.
which is nice.
Yeah, there are a bunch of different kinds
Mhm.
too.
And I think sometimes this here can be a fidget.
Yep.
Yes.
You don't need a pencil or nothing.
Yep.
You just
absolutely.
use your fingers.
Yep.
Yes. So why is it so important for kids to be able to enjoy reading and to just read in general, and also to be able to kind of choose what they like to read?
Very, very good question. I think that part of it is that we ask, when we go in, one of the questions we'll ask students a lot of the time is, why do people read?
Yeah.
And they'll always list things like information. You need to gather information. You need to be able to read road signs and
Yep.
things like that. We had a youngster, it couldn't have been second grade this year, said, because legal papers need to be read and you don't stop reading those, make sure you read every word. He gave a little lecture and I'm like,
Wow.
this is important, impressive stuff
Yeah.
for
Future
somebody.
little
who's-
lawyer there.
Yeah, right? He
So-
knows his stuff.
Yeah, but they'll come up with a lot of stuff and we'll say, yep, and we'll ask the players there, do you have to read anything with playing hockey? And they go, oh yeah, we get a weekly schedule from our coach, and if we don't get to practice on time, we don't get to the bus, too bad that you just aren't playing the game because you just didn't follow the directions and read what you had to read. So,
Right.
but the interesting thing that they leave out a lot of times is the reason I would say with kids, make sure you read to enjoy it, to have
Yes.
fun while you're reading. Put yourself in the story a lot of times, and I just think that's a big thing with it. And we talk about, your second part of your question was about why they read or what type of books they choose, how they choose. And we always tell them, find something that you're interested in, and go for sports. If you really like sports, if you like something that building things and stuff like that, there's books about doing that. And then just enjoyment. A lot of the classics are coming back, it seems like, more and more, and maybe it runs a circle around, it comes up every once in a while, but it's nice to see them reading really fun stuff, good stuff, and everything. So, and I take books like this here, I brought this here in, Abraham Lincoln book, and I had to look some stuff up, and I'm big on Abraham Lincoln. I must have about 20 books, and most of them autographed and stuff, and I
By
had to...
Abraham Lincoln.
Not by Abraham.
I was gonna say, wow.
Impressive.
Okay,
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I threw you off.
No, I'm glad you. I like that sense of humor. Is what I like. People listening that know me are going to say, "Yeah, Jay, you get it back at you sometimes, don't you?" So, yeah, I like to read a lot about Civil War, that time period. So it's nice.
I think when you can find a topic that you're really interested in, like, it's funny that you say you really enjoy reading about Abraham Lincoln. I have a friend who is obsessed with presidents in general. She loves all presidents, all information, facts and figures. Abraham is her favorite. So she knows everything about him. But yeah, when you find something that you love reading, that you're interested in, it's not a chore. It's fun, it's enjoyment, it's something that you look forward to doing. And I think that's great for kids to start at a young age, to start it young and just kind of figure out what you love.
I just think it's so cool that the players come in there and they are like leading by example.
Yes.
You know, a lot of those kids are going to look up to them, and if, you know, they're reading, then they're going to want to read also, which I think is just huge. And I think it's so important that athletes and even like movie stars and stuff like model that behavior for kids. I think it is so important, and I'm so glad that you guys do this.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure doing it too. The players have a lot of fun. They go in there a little nervous. A lot of them have never been into that speaking area with students or adults or anything else watching on. And it always turns out, it seems like. And there's some books that all of a sudden you're supposed to raise your voice because something's being shouted at, especially a children's book. Those players catch on and it's a ball. They just the kids are laughing, the players start laughing, and
I love it.
It's a lot of fun.
It's that nice kind of mutual energy.
Yes.
They feed off of each other, which is so great.
Yep, and then they probably leave also feeling uplifted, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want for a community partnership.
You know, with community, you talk about community. I talk to the city council every other year or so and report what the stats are and what we're doing in the buildings and stuff like that. And I've had board members all of a sudden, before I can leave the lectern, they'll say, you know what, my kid came home from school the other day and he wouldn't shut up for 2.5, 3 hours. It was nothing but lumberjacks, nothing but players. And then he gets up the next morning, nothing at breakfast still. He didn't forget. So you know you're reaching out and doing something right when you have that happen.
Yeah,
absolutely.
100%.
And that kind of overlaps with the next question I want to ask. You kind of already touched on it. But why is it important to have community centers, you know, in our area like Trinity Health Arena and like Hackley Library? Like, why is it important to have these staples in communities for people to engage with?
I'm going to tell a little story that we had a player show up about 15 years ago, and his parents were with him, and I didn't know this until like 10 years later. Another son came over to play, and they were talking. They said, what a difference 10 years makes in Muskegon.
Mm-hmm.
There's restaurants, there's people out all night, they're friendly people and everything else. The arena changed, and so it's nice to see good feedback come back from these players and their families that send their kids to Muskegon. Muskegon has grown so much. You have boats coming in the summer with tour boats. You think it's only in the Gulf of Mexico or something. Here it is in Little Muskegon. And we have all these people coming in and having fun. I had another set of parents come in, and they walked on Saturday morning. It was in the fall, and they said, you know, we walked downtown. We ended up at this market, farmer's market. They said, oh my, it was so good. The food that we bought, everything that was there, the people were friendly, the farmers were friendly. We asked them questions. And then they said, we walked a little further, we run into St. Mary's. We went in there, what a beautiful church. We go down 2 blocks, we're at this big brick building, and I said, the library, right? And they go, yes. How in the world did you keep it? And I'm thinking, that goes back to 1880s. How many businesses are there in Muskegon that go 100 years back? I know Radium and G&L, or not G&L maybe, but downtown, US 31 Barbecue. And Radium maybe are still in the downtown area after 100 years. But the only other place I can think of is the library. Wasn't it 1880s?
Yeah, so the idea came about from Charles Hackley in 1888, and then it officially opened in 1890. So yeah, it's been a library ever since. And it's true, you don't necessarily have a lot of community resources like that you know stand the test of time, and it's really cool to see the library still going and thriving and really being a community center for everyone.
Absolutely, and you know, also downtown, to get more people downtown and provide great fun and a lot of learning. You have the museum, the technology museum or business museum, along with the regular museum. You have the art museum. It's just amazing what is downtown for people to do. And it's like, you still hear people very negative outside Muskegon. They say stuff, and I'm telling them, you need to come in and stop by, see a hockey game, and then you can spend time downtown, and it's a great feeling and stuff. And the other thing is, when you look at the library, I think a lot of people think of your library as a place to lend a book out.
Yes.
That's it, that's all there. The history that is in that library, when I think back of when I was there, it's been a year or two, but I worked for 2 or 3 years writing those history of hockey and the football book. And I spent a lot of time in that basement. There's a picture in there, isn't there, of the opening. And I got to tell a little
Yes.
story because I remember that picture, and I thought, what a cool picture. And this was years ago. This is what happened on these steps this many years ago. Then I got a big shot, and it said, somebody told me, that isn't what really happened, that picture.
Oh,
that picture isn't really true. So.
Yeah. So I think, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about like the dedication day, and it's this portrait of everyone there. And in reality, on the dedication day, it was like a handful of people with Charles Hackley handing over the deed. Yes. But, the cool thing though is when the library did officially open to the public, a lot of people came because what's really fun is they were able to see the process of the library being built over the course of, those 2 years. And to be able to see the construction and the progression of it, and then finally be able to go inside. I mean, it's an amazing thing. It was, I think, I can only imagine how cool it was for everyone back in the day.
Yes, absolutely. And that's what they have a bust of Hackley in there, and the paintings and the woodwork, everything else in there is just fantastic. And to think, you're going 135, 45 years now then, 35.
135 plus-ish years, it's around that.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take a few years. Math.
Well, that actually leads to a really good question. What is your favorite part of the Hackley Public Library?
You're gonna.
We can share some of our favorites if that would help.
No. If you want to, I'd love to hear them, but you're gonna not like what I'm.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Like first time I went to the library, I was probably 6-7 years old with my older brothers, and we rode the bus from Muskegon area down here. My brother had to get some books for high school, and we walked up those steps. I was amazed at how heavy the doors are.
Oh,
I always sort of think, and I've been to Europe since then a number of times, and I see those churches and stuff. You go to open the doors, and it's like,
yes,
and I was so little, and so every time I walk on those steps, I think of those doors, that how heavy they are, how solid they're built and stuff. But I like that, and then the architecture with the glass floor.
Yes.
That was mine.
I went up there many times, and I've gotten where I don't even want to go up there. Really, I'm sort of afraid with looking down. But those are two of mine. What's your favorites?
I love a lot. I do love the woodwork. I think my favorite thing about the woodwork in Hackley Library is that a lot of the carvings were made by the same company that did the wood carvings in Hackley House, the Kelly brothers, and the detailing is just impeccable. It's amazing. But I mean, you can't beat the stained glass windows. They're all unique, a lot of color, a lot of saturation. It's gorgeous.
The fact that they feature 4 authors or 4 writers, I think that is so cool. Just a neat feature.
Exactly, yes.
Well, and just having the stained glass windows in a library, I wonder how many libraries really have something like that. And now coming into the Torrent building for this, we walk up the stairs, and what greets me is some stained glass windows on the way up again, which I never knew before. And the architecture here in this building is unbelievable too.
Definitely 2 historic gems that we love being a part of in Muskegon, and love to see them thriving continuously, all because of the community. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the community and people who support the library.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. We really appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much. I really enjoyed talking and bringing back some memories, good memories of Muskegon, of the library, of the hockey and stuff. Really great.
Well, definitely make sure to check out more information about the Lumberjacks. You can go on their website. Say what the website is specifically.
www.muskegonlumberjacks.com.
Perfect. And then also check them out on Facebook. They're a great organization to follow. You can find more information about what they're doing in our very own community, and also, check out the schedule for, their upcoming games and everything to enjoy. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon at the library.
And maybe a hockey game.
Yes. I'm going to try to talk like this. Is that okay?
I will.
Is that all right?
I think it should be fine.
It's fine.
Oh my God. Okay, cool.
This is going to be our blooper. I already know it.
Yes.